to wish that you'd never met the girl with the faraway look in her eyes. But to your surprise, she pours you some tea. How many lumps is it two? Why not five? You suddenly find yourself glad that you came, and you're sure that the room doesn't look quite the same. And Dad's got you into these bright colored blocks, whilst Mother still smiles in her little girl frock. And the girl with the faraway look in her eyes has now become very important in life. Been through this before, but never like this.
That was Never Like This by Family off their debut album from 1968, Music in a Doll's House. This album's kind of notable in that it stole the album name from the Beatles before they got to use it. The Beatles apparently originally intended to use the title A Doll's House for their 1968 self-titled album before Music in a Doll's House came out, and they decided that's too close, let's not use that name, and opted to just call it Beatles, The Beatles. And it just had a plain white cover on it. And that actually probably ended up being a better idea. It's just referred to as the White Album now, and the music on there is great, but the cover is very iconic for being just completely blank, save for the Beatles name on there. We're listening to that today because we have a song from the White Album coming up in competition today. And it's got a pretty easy battle ahead of it, actually. Hi, my name is Bean, and you're watching Battle of the Band. We're on day 172 of the Beatles tournament. That puts us in round 2, match 45. And we have, as I said, a song from the White Album coming up today. And that'll be going up against a Buddy Holly cover. A cover of a Buddy Holly and the Crickets song. If you're new here and you're not familiar with the concept of the channel, I'll give you a brief rundown. We took every single Beatles song, we threw them into a single elimination style tournament, and now they're battling head to head until there's one left remaining in the end, and that'll be the very best Beatles song. Today, we have Dear Prudence, which is from the 1968 self-titled double album, otherwise known as the White Album, which almost became known as A Doll's House until Music in a Doll's House by Family came out. And prompted them to pretty much just name it The Beatles. Dear Prudence is the second track on that album, and in the first round, it went up against What You're Doing. I don't really remember what you're doing, or what I'm doing. Anyway, that'll be going up against Mailman, Bring Me No More Blues, which was actually recorded in 1969 during the sessions for what it was called Get Back at the time, but what would become Let It Be, which wasn't released until 1970. This song, this version of Mailman, Bring Me No More Blues, was released in 1996 on their Anthology 3 album, which just compiled, basically all the Anthology albums compiled just a bunch of odds and ends, essentially, that weren't put on albums beforehand, a lot of demos, things like that. That went up against Jazz Piano Song in the first round, which I don't even think was on the Anthology series. That was just a really short little jazz piano song. I don't even know if I listened to the right one, to be honest with you. It was just listed as a track that the Beatles did when I was looking for Beatles tracks. So Mailman, Bring Me No More Blues, even though it's a cover, got to go on into the second round. We will be playing these songs reversed with a bit of distortion. That's to avoid any kind of copyright blocks that we would get otherwise. YouTube does not allow me to play the Beatles music, even if it's something as obscure as Mailman, Bring Me No More Blues. We've listened to both of these once already, so let's go ahead and get into it again and see which one's the better of the two. Dear Prudence, for what it's worth, was penned by John Lennon. Of course, Mailman, Bring Me No More Blues was recorded by Buddy Holly and the Crickets Can't remember if the Buddy Holly version was better than the Beatles version or not. But we're only listening to the Beatles version today. Let's go ahead and get into it. First up is Dear Prudence. It's crazy that this was like the later part of the Beatles is considered some of their most ambitious music. It's definitely put a lot of like it definitely put a lot of friction on the band. I just read that I was just thinking while I was listening to this, like, man, Paul and Ringo are just in sync on the rhythm section there. And come to find out, Ringo is not on the rhythm section on this song. It's Paul on drums and bass. No wonder he's so in sync. Paul also played the piano and the flugelhorn on this song. But there is no Ringo to be found. We got George, of course, on an electric guitar, and everybody's clapping hands. That's in the studio. That does not include Ringo. Apparently, there had been an argument before this song and the preceding song back in the USSR, which I incorrectly said that it had fireworks as that weird, obnoxious sound in it. That was apparently airplanes, and I still hate it. But that's interesting. There was no Ringo on this, and yet there was still rhythm. And, maybe a little less life, but, no Ringo. Maybe Mailman Bring Me No More Blues will win today. Let's find out. I'm just kidding, though. Mailman Bring Me No More Blues isn't going to win today. It's just a solid little cover, I guess, for killing time in the studio. It's nothing more than that. Dear Prudence is our winner today. That song is spectacular, even without Ringo on it. I am saddened to see that there is no Ringo, but there is still plenty of life on there. But I stand by the fact that Ringo brings more life to whatever you're doing, and I'm glad you guys brought him back. I'm glad he came back. But it was only for a short time, as we all know. The Beatles had only a couple more albums in them after this, and there were arguments throughout the recording of those albums. There was a point where John wasn't coming in. I think that even was on this album. There was a lot of stuff where they were just arguing a lot. George quit the band during the recording of Let It Be. Then he came back for a little bit. It's just, the Beatles weren't long for the world after this, and it's Dear Prudence is a wonderful song, but it's a reminder of that when you read up on the facts of the song anyway. We've got social media if you want to talk about it. We have an Instagram, a Facebook, and a Twitter account. You feel free to hit us up on all of those. There's also a TikTok account if you think these videos are a little bit too long, or you're sick of hearing the Beatles played reverse for so long. Check it out on the TikTok. You can do it right there too. Even better if you're subscribing to both and just watch whatever you feel like that day, or both. Whatever. I will link the songs down in the description, so you can find the songs played normally down there. They also play normally above me. If you click the little link above my head when the song starts, you can hear them played normally that way as well. The tournament brackets are also linked in the description, so make sure you check that out. We've got a Cash App and a Venmo, so if you feel like we need a little bit of money, we probably do. Please just donate to us there. I'm working on other ways for people to support the channel besides that, but that's all I've got so far. There just aren't that many viewers, and I'm not sure what you guys would be into. Like, I'd love to start a Patreon, but I don't know what to give you there. I don't know. I'm open to all the suggestions. Maybe you should have to fucking pay me to name the cat. Also, we have an alligator friend joining us today. This was given to me by my boss back when I worked at Radio Shack. He went down to, I think, Louisiana. Yeah, he went down to New Orleans and brought this back for me. Super cool little guy. If he's watching the channel, he'll be stoked to see him there. Like the video if you like this video, and please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. We jumped pretty quick from 196 to 215, and it slowed down a little bit. Last I checked right before recording this, it was at 216. And the Beatles videos have picked back up. They had like a little drought for a little while. There was a couple days actually when I said that it didn't affect my views, taking a few days off. I looked back at it and it was like 20-some views for those couple days. Not good days. Also, on the subject of getting me more views and more subscribers, let's share the video with any friends and family members you may know. I know this matchup isn't the most exciting matchup we've had, but there have been some really exciting ones. Like 2 days ago, I Am the Walrus versus Across the Universe. That was an insane battle. And it's going to get more and more like that. Like, this is one of the few songs left over from the anthology albums, simply because it went up against a nothing song in the first round. So, yeah. We might have one more of those left in here. I can't remember how many like anthology songs slipped through the cracks in the first round. And hey, while we're at asking you to do things, why don't you comment down below and let me know which of these two songs you would have picked if you were in the hot seat today. Pretty easy choice. I don't see anyone picking Mailman, Bring Me No More Blues, but you know, some people don't mind if it's a cover, and some people might just hate Dear Prudence. I mean, it doesn't have Ringo on it. That's all the Beatles I've got for you today. Please join me in just a few minutes for the Unicorns. We're on the second round of the semifinals in the Unicorns. Finals will be tomorrow, and we'll be starting a new band tomorrow as well. So check back tomorrow for all that. Hope you have a great night, a fantastic afternoon, and a wonderful morning. I'll see you then. Bye. We're on day 142, 172? What day are we on? 45. 75?